Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today is day 186 of the ongoing war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. And today I want to talk about what is causing this almost static warfare that we are now seeing within the confines of this conflict. As we know, it does appear the Russians have a strategy. They have modified their strategy. If you look at day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 of the war, compared to where we're at now, because of various weapon systems that are being used and what happened in the early stages of the conflict, obviously we're starting to see the Russians adapt and change their practices of warfare to kind of fit this modern day warfare we're now seeing. So what is that is different now than, say, in maybe the Yom Kippur War between the Arabs and the Israelis, or even the U.S. invasion of Iraq back in 2003? Well, one of the big issues, one of the big things that we are seeing within the context of this conflict is really this is the first time fire and forget anti-tank guided weapon systems have been used en masse in a war. As we know, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and the United States have supplied the Ukrainians many of these fire and forget anti-tank guided weapon systems. So that gives you, the user of these anti-tank guided weapon systems, simply the ability to look downrange 2,000 meters or so, identify a tank or an armored infantry fighting vehicle, very quickly lock onto that tank, and then fire your Javelin missile system, or maybe even the Brimstone, which is a whole nother animal in and of itself, and I'll kind of get to that weapon system here real quick. But again, this is really the first time we've seen these kind of weapon systems not being employed like they are being used, but how many of them are being used as well. Thousands of these systems have been shipped over to the Ukrainians. I don't think we can even at this point count how many of these systems have been handed over to the Ukrainians. But obviously it is causing a disruption in the Russian method of war, and especially in terms of maneuver warfare. You know, back in World War I, we saw the machine gun really kind of end the ability of infantry to maneuver, and until the tank was invented and deployed by both German and Allied forces during World War I, then things had become rather stagnant, and the ability to maneuver was negated. And now fast forward to where we are now in 2022, we're almost seeing the same sort of challenges enter into the fray in terms of this conflict. The anti-tank guided weapon system that is, one, very accurate, even if it's not a fire and forget system, is creating a lot of problems for some of these maneuver forces. And it doesn't matter if these maneuver forces are light, using all-terrain vehicles, Humvees, types of Tigers that the Russians use, or BTR-80s, BTR-82s, BMP-1s, 2s, 3s, and then obviously heavy main battle tanks as well. But that is the big difference in this conflict that we're seeing. And then to compound that is the use of these very precise long-range missiles, such as the HIMARS, and even systems the Russians are using, are making it very difficult for these logistical bases that are set up behind the opposing forces' lines. And so you're seeing the rear areas being targeted very precisely, where CPs are being targeted. You're seeing again ammunition depots being targeted, and then also from a maneuver aspect on both sides, very difficult to maneuver as well. And I think both sides are trying to get a grip on this quote unquote new age of warfare with these very advanced weapon systems. And then it kind of it harkens back to now the Brimstone, and some have called that weapon system the ultimate cheat code weapon, right? You have these various online video games where cheat codes can be inputted into the game and makes you very powerful. This Brimstone has the ability to simply be launched in the direction of the enemy, and the software that's in this weapon system, the sensor package that is in this weapon system, has the ability to look for targets of opportunity and then attack those targets of opportunity using some very advanced sensor packages in that system. And this is kind of where we're at right now. And both sides, I think, at this point, are really trying to adapt and overcome to this new way of fighting. And it is not easy. And I imagine we will see the status quo, quite possibly for some time, unless the Russians are finally able to completely just wear down the Ukrainians with the use of long-range rocket systems and precision air attacks and heavy artillery strikes along the line of contact, while at the same time continuing to utterly destroy the Ukrainian economy. At a certain point, there is no economy. But will that happen? We just don't know yet. But we'll continue to watch what's happening and obviously report on this continued evolution in warfare as we're watching it right now. And I didn't even get into the whole concept of drones as of yet. But again, this is a new game, and it's a incredibly frightening game. And I could only imagine being a soldier and having to fight in this kind of environment on either side with the technology that now exists, and just how lethal it can be for maneuvering forces on either side of the battlefield. But we'll continue to monitor, report. Thank you for joining us, and we'll have more to come. Have a good day.